you can imagine my surprise when I learned that the MiG-31 was actually doing something useful in Ukraine. I always thought that the aircraft was a sort of a relic of very little military value, and it was relevant just for Russia because they have this very particular requirement. Sure, a fascinating aircraft for its performance, but of little military value outside its main use case. Well, it turned out, as it often happens, that I was wrong. So today I'm on a mission to understand why an aircraft that was last produced 30 years ago better. I suppose it could have been Canadian too, but that's just not possible. Don't quote me on this. The development of the MiG-31 started in the late 60s, obviously as a successor of the MiG-25. The reference opponents were the F-111, the upcoming B-1, and American cruise missiles, and these two were little more than concepts at the time. The aircraft had to operate in the Arctic region where the infrastructures are few and far between. It had to intercept the incoming bombers and cruise missiles above the North Pole, potentially thousands of targets, and keep them off the Soviet territory. And it had to do this with very little help because there was no help available up there. In the words of one of the designers, the aircraft was thought as a S-300 flying battery capable of relocating itself at Mach 2. So the result was an aircraft with the same general configuration of the MiG-25, but bigger, flying higher for a longer time, farther but not faster, and much better and more modern in every other aspect. The Zaslon weapon system was revolutionary at the time. In fact, the MiG-31 was the first fighter featuring an antenna array, actually a PISA radar. And the radar in itself is almost unique because it works in X-band like many other fighter radars, but is also big enough to work in the L-band at lower frequency, which means lower frequency, longer range. The radar tracks can be shared with other MiG-31s through a data link, but can also be handed off to other less capable fighters operating in the area. So it was actually the first fighter capable of operating as a quarterback for a group of less capable aircraft operating nearby, a concept that today is pretty common, particularly in the West, but at the time was revolutionary. The R-33 missile that was developed specifically for the MiG-31, despite not having an active seeker, it had a data link for mid-course guidance, and one aircraft could guide the missiles launched by other aircraft, and the deconfliction was automatic.